Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Minisink Valley. Welcome to the Minisink Valley Board of Education meeting for Wednesday, February 26, 2025. We do have a quorum. Will everybody please rise to the pledge of allegiance?
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'm going to ask the Board of Education for approval of the minutes of the February 13th meeting. Be it resolved that the Board of Education, upon recommendation of the superintendent, approve the minutes of the regular meeting of the Board of Education of February 13th, 2025.
So move, Bill Cooper. Second, Anthony Hoffman.
Motion made and seconded. Is there any discussion? Being that there's none, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstained? Motion carried. Next item on the agenda is welcome to the visitors, and first person is Joanne Westman. Comments are limited to 4 minutes. Thank you.
Good evening, everybody.
Joanne, I'm not sure if it's on. There you go.
Good evening, everybody. I'm just here tonight in support of our track and skeet program and our coach, Steve Sorrentino. Our track and skeet program has really opened a great opportunity for the kids who are athletes, maybe not of what we might think of as typical sports here at Minisink, but our kids are definitely athletes and they're competitive. I feel like for my son, he has really become a part of a team and has grown a bit in pursuing some leadership roles that he hadn't before this, so I'm quite proud of that. Mr. Sorrentino has held the kids to a very high safety standard, a high standard in terms of their teamwork and working together and their respect of one another and their coaches around them. So we definitely appreciate that. And that's it. Just wanted to say a few positive words about the things that they have accomplished together.
Thanks, Joanne.
Thank you. Next person is Jennifer Hosking, and forgive me if I mispronounce it.
Servetzian.
Servetzian, that's what I was going to say. Thank you.
So, I'm here on behalf of the Minisink track team as well, and Coach Sorrentino. Steve Sorrentino is a great coach, always thinking of his athletes and putting them first. When the unfortunate accident happened earlier this year, he and Frank Bruno had to talk with the kids and told them all to be sure that they also had their phone numbers, because if they're ever in a situation they don't want to call home, then they could call them, and they will work it out with the parents after. But at least the kids would be safe. Not all coaches would do that. They put out their own time, their own effort, and support the kids. Most kids have just enough ammo for an evening. They provide all the extra rounds in practice just to show the kids their mistakes and to help them. They look out for the best interest of all the students, all the kids. Very few coaches and volunteers actually take the time, nonetheless, any extra time to actually guide the kids. Supposedly, there's allegations of Coach Sorrentino drinking with kids around at States last June. This should not be a reason to expect Coach Sorrentino to resign. All kids were the responsibility of the parents in the evening hours. Coach Sorrentino's responsibilities to his athletes were during the competition days, Saturday and Sunday. It was not his responsibility to watch kids who were being supervised by their parents. All rooms booked by participants were paid for by the participants. There was only one room paid for by Minisink for 2 student athletes, who were the responsibility of their parents, myself and one other. The Minisink track and ski team has participants from several different school districts, which stayed within 2 different hotels across the parking lot. Coach Sorrentino was unable to know if anything was going on at the other hotel, and if there was, then why didn't another coach say something at that time? Why is it months later that this is now coming to light? If this was also the case, then why are or were those students in school still allowed to participate? I feel at this time, now more than ever, Minisink should start not only allowing Minisink students to participate on the Minisink team. This way, only Minisink has a say as to what goes on. Any athletes who were supposedly drinking at State's weekend were not Minisink students. They would have been from other districts that Minisink had allowed to join the team. Rather than expecting a coach or coach to resign over something they had no control over, the bigger question is, how does Minisink protect itself from further accusations in a way not to impede students from Minisink and their chance of losing a program that they dearly enjoy, and of which you, the board, have given them the opportunity to get established and grow. This program is completely funded by the parents and the coaches. This includes guns, ammo, gear, and traveling. Minisink does not provide anything towards the program except as a sponsoring school. So shouldn't we as parents have a say as to where we would prefer to shoot at? It is tough right after school. Parents are still working, so to have to take the time because there is no transportation other than us is hard. It should also be said that Minisink should be allowed to continue to also shoot at Shwangung Sportsman Club, as it is closer to home and more convenient for most parents. Since the inception of this team, it has always been said that there are no chances and the program will end if there are any safety concerns. Coach Sorrentino has a safety talk at the beginning of each competition, which is 3 to 4 times a week. To the point, I've heard grumblings on how long it takes to get started. Another point of how Coach Sorrentino wants the program for his athletes, as we as parents trust Coach Sorrentino, and that's a lot of trust that we need to have, especially since there are firearms involved. Before we accept the resignation of Coach Sorrentino, has the board or district proposed to faculty or staff if there's anyone else within our district to coach the upcoming spring 2025 season? If not, then why hasn't this been done before accepting his resignation, which he was asked to submit? Was there already a setup as to who will be coaching the team this season? Is it an actual member of the Minisink School District? Does accepting Coach Sorrentino's resignation mean that there will be no spring season and the program is shut down? My kids have been on the Minisink track team since it started. I feel that there is some politics going on and jeopardizing what truly matters, our kids and our school. After all, isn't that what should matter the most? Is that Minisink has a track team and then compete at state level and not jeopardize what these kids want? So please, reject the resignation letter of Coach Sorrentino until it has been posed to any other faculty or staff to take the position. We don't want the program shut down, nor do we want anyone who's not Minisink proud.
Michael, so that's you.
We'd just like a couple of questions answered, regarding the situation, Mr. Sorrentino.
We don't answer questions here, Mr. Sabetzky.
Okay,
You have a chance to speak.
okay. I'm not sure if the allegations, there was any, actual proof to these. Sounds like it was all hearsay. And if, our coach, who we adore, is being asked to resign over hearsay with no proof, I find that to be very disrespectful.
I can't discuss a matter of personnel with you on any aspect of it in
Understood.
respect of any employee in this district.
Understood, understood. Just making my point, you know, I'm not sure what the accusations were exactly. I'm not sure what proof was provided, but from what I understand, it's all hearsay.
I can't answer any questions.
No, that's fine, I understand that. But I don't think that's a acceptable reason to ask for a resignation for, nothing, with no proof, if that's the case. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Eric Wilder.
Evening.
Please, sir.
My daughter's third season, my daughter will be on the team this year, and, we've been working hard. She's been coming out of her shell, getting back into, feeling like she's part of something. We go to Shwangung every week. We still go to Shwangung every week to practice. In the off season, we've been there every week. The safety factor of the coaches putting forward to our children is the same thing that gets from the parents behind the line. Everything is, parents take it the same way the coaches do and back that up. Whatever time frame we have, we go, and we've spent lots of money, lots of time, with minimal time to get there and do it. To be able to go to Monroe Chester is not feasible for us. We don't get there, we don't have time to go there. They don't have lights to let us shoot into the evening. They don't have the proper facility to let us get it done in time, so kids get shorted out on shooting in the time frame because it gets dark. Therefore, some kids miss out on full rounds sometimes, and that's an issue for me. The other issue we have is when they incorporate two schools into one shooting club over there, and the same coaches are working with the students, how are we gonna go to states? And how are the coaches gonna effectively coach two different schools on a state level, at a state function, to be effective? You know, there's things that go on over there that I don't agree with at Rochester. My daughter does not wanna go there and does not wanna be around those people. She does not feel safe. And that's the biggest problem we have with going over there. And there's been a big push from people over there to join the scouts, to make them join and be a membership of Monroe Chester, when that has nothing to do with the team. And it's all to inflate numbers at Monroe Chester for their youth program, to get more money. And that's the biggest problem I have with the whole thing. And that's where I'm at.
Thank you, sir. Glenn Terwilliger.
Yes, my name's Glenn Twilliger. I worked for Department of Corrections for 30 years. I was a Boy Scoutmaster for 8 years. We did also at a gun club in Village of Walkill, which our Boy Scouts went through. We had all volunteer, whether you wanted to do it or not. So only about 8, 10, 12 kids came. We shot skeet, we shot 22s. My boys came and learned gun safety. Wherever I went, I preached gun safety. We sat in meetings, Department of Corrections for 30 years, and I told them, you need to take your kids to a gun range. And everybody laughs at me. You need to be safe wherever you go. Your son goes to his buddy's house, and there's a shotgun on the wall, he pulls it off, and who's dead? We need gun safety. I've come to this with my granddaughter, seen her come a long ways. She first came, she shot 2 play pistols. The other night she came, she shot 24. Accuracy, the supervision is phenomenal. This is what kids need. All you members of the board need to come at least once for the season to see what happens there, to experience what your school is putting on. I found out this was a letter sport. I was amazed that this is a letter sport through a school. You know, we did it through Boy Scouts. It was an after-school function. This is a school function and needs to be treated that way. All you members need to come there and see how safe this is, how the parents volunteer, how your other people volunteer, and the coaches have done a phenomenal job. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Steve Sorrentino.
First, I'd like to thank the board for listening to us. I recognize some of you have had your children throughout the years. I had 29 great years here at Minisink Valley, working with your kids, coaching your kids, just a great environment to work and be in. About 5 years ago, 6 years before COVID, I was approached about this program. And I said, yeah, I would do it. Then we had COVID. Then a couple of years after that, we finally got this program going, I think in 2021. Those board members that are here, that voted for it, thank you very much. It was a great program. It is a great program for these students, as their parents have announced. Mr. Monahan, myself, Mr. Bolt, we've had a bunch of conversations in the last few months. I've never lied to them. I've told them everything, answered all their questions. I've made a few mistakes, did a few things that I didn't think were a big deal, but other people thought they were big deals. So, after our last conversation with a member from the Monroe Chester Gun Club, they left. Mr. Monahan had asked for my resignation. I asked him for 24 hours. He gave me the 24 hours. After about 26 hours, I gave my resignation after I received a phone call from Mr. Flaherty. So, at this point, I would like you to not accept my resignation. I will reapply if need be for the position. You've heard the parents, you've heard the importance of the program, you've heard our push of safety and for the push of competition for the kids and how much they enjoy it. So, I was going to say a few other things, but at this point, after I had a conversation with Mr. Monahan, I'm going to hold my tongue. So, I just want you to know that the parents find it very important, not only to their children, but to the school, and we're getting more and more kids, and we're building up. We have about 4 more kids this year that want to sign up, and it is great for them, great for their self-esteem, great for them in terms of their self-efficacy and how they grow and what they're going to be, and as Mr. Terwilliger just mentioned, safety and guns. So, again, thank you very much for the program. Again, I'm going to ask that you reject my letter of resignation and reinstate me as the coach for this last season. I retired last June 24. I wanted to stay on for 2 more seasons, the fall season, the spring season, and then go off into the sunset. So this season would have been my last season, being if allowed to do it. I plan on not doing it in the coming years. So, again, thank you very much. Make sure the program stays active for these kids, because if not, some of them they're not traditional athletes. They're not playing the football, the soccer, the wrestling, all right, the softball. This is what they have, and this is what they need. So, again, thank you very much.
Thank you. Minisink Valley Middle School Drama Club.
Well, good evening. My name is Teresa Parker. I'm the Minisink Valley Middle School Drama Director. I wouldn't normally get up, but I usually let the kids do the talking because everybody else knows that I can really talk, so it's probably shorter if they just do it. But this is their first board meeting, so I figured I'd just give a little transition before they get up and do their amazing things that they do. So I'm going to present to you an awesome group of kids that are here on the fly tonight, and we are so very proud of them and so really lucky to have them as part of our drama club and part of our world. So take it away, kiddos.
Hi, my name is Austin Eamer, and I'm Troy in this musical.
Hi, my name is Molly Orman, and I'm Sharpay in this coming musical.
Hi, my name is Emily Sinelli, and I'm Jackie Scott in this year's musical.
Hi, my name is Ashley Greenberg, and I am the moderator in this year's musical.
Hi, my name is James Young, and I'm one of the classical players in this year's musical.
Hi, I'm Lauren Galligan, and I'm playing Miss Starbucks in this year's musical. Hi, my name is Lisa Bernada, and I'm playing Miss Penny in this year's musical.
We are here representing the Minisink Valley Middle School Drama Club.
We'd like to invite you to this year's production of High School Musical Junior. This play was produced 11 years ago on the MVMS stage, and we're proud to be revisiting it this year.
High School Musical has a large production team of 79 students.
We have a cast, stage crew, house and construction crew, costume crew, and an AV tech crew. We all have different skills and talents. All of our cast and crews work together. We learn that we must all prepare properly as individuals, then we learn to depend on each other for success. Our show is on March 6th and 7th at 7 p.m. We thank you for your continued support, and we hope to see you there.
We're all in this together.
Once we reach, we can fly. No inside, we can make it. We're all in this together. Once we see, there's a chance that we have, and we take it. Wildcats everywhere, wave your hands up in the air. That's the way we do it, let's get to it, come on, everyone.
Thank you very much for that. Teresa, thank you for the invitation. Next item on the agenda is Superintendent's Report with Mr. Monahan.
Thank you. So one of the wonderful things I get to do each year is award tenure. And we have an individual. I'd like to read the motion. Be resolved that in accordance with Section 3012 of the New York State Education Law, upon recommendation of the superintendent, Paul John DiStefano is hereby granted tenure by the Board of Education in the tenure area of science effective March 24th, 2025. Do I have a motion?
So moved, Kathy DeRose.
Second, Vanessa White.
Motion's been made and seconded. Is there any discussion? Being that there's none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Motion carried. Congratulations.
So, Frank, a good congratulations to Paul. What an outstanding teacher he is, and we are so glad he is part of Minisink Valley. Just a wonderful, wonderful person. So thank you. Next, we had a Buildings and Grounds Committee report. I'd like to ask Mr. Monaco to go over what we discussed in our committee meeting last week.
Okay, good evening, everybody. Last Thursday, Mr. Monahan, myself, Mr. Cooper, Ms. Lewis, Nick Lopez, Bill Westbauer from Tetra Tech, and our Nick Tranchina had our Buildings and Grounds meeting, and Mr. Renato was there as well. We spoke about a bunch of different things. The bids went out for the construction project at the high school, for the weight room and cardio room, as well as the switchgear. We had a ton of bids come out. It was great. The actual low bidder withdrew his bid, so I'm going to be asking. We'll be voting on this, I'm sure, for the second bidder to move forward with that project. If everything we vote on this tonight, plans for construction to start the week of spring break, and to have a potential completion date for the weight room right before hopefully fall sports start. And then the second half of the project to be completed probably around winter break, give or take, is what I kind of figured we came up with. We asked for all the alternate bids except one, which we're going to discuss the graphic on the wall in the back, but I don't, you want me to discuss that, Mr. Chairman, or not necessary? Yeah, so basically we thought that the bids came in from the contractors a little bit too high. So one option is to send it out for a rebid through our district and to see what comes back. And another option would be potentially to have our high school art department possibly come up with something as well. So that's the two things there. Also, as part of the switchgear project, there's a huge lead time on the switchgear itself for the high school. So what we had decided to do is this summer they will start work from the new line from the street down to the school. So this way all that work's done, and some of the interior work. This way next summer, when that project, when that product comes, the downtime in the building will be minimal because everything will get shut down here. We'll be running on temporary power over the summer to complete that work there. So that pretty much sums up everything at the high school. We also did speak about getting Tetra Tech to come up with a plan to do a partial roof replacement here on the intermediate elementary school over the cafeteria area. Is that correct, Mr. Monahan? We're going to try to get that up to SED to get that approved, to get that work done, at least part of it, where we have a major league. It's no surprise that we know we have work to do on that building, and the plan is to continue to move forward with that. Also, as part of that, the new sewer plant is running in full capacity. Right now, actually, me, Ms. Lewis, and Mr. Cooper did see it today, and it's working great. Mr. Tranchino walked me through the whole thing, and as well as everybody else. It's great to see a whole thing functioning. This project was a long time coming to life. As well as that, the old sewer plant is being decommissioned, or is decommissioned now, and the other part of that project is to turn that building into more storage for our buildings and grounds department. That staff there doesn't have enough room, and hopefully by doing some redesign and repurpose of that building, that will help them out with a lot of stuff there. So that's the plan. We need some approvals, I believe, from the DEC. Mr. Tranchino said to shut that down officially, and Tetra Tech will work on a design, get that up to SED, so we can hopefully transition that, and that project can get moving as well. I did stress the importance to try to move along the roof project as fast as we possibly can, but unfortunately, most likely will not be able to do that till next summer. With getting it up to the state education department and getting approvals, getting it out to bid, and that work would have to be done most likely in a long break or over the summer, which would probably be the best and least invasive to the building. And I think that's pretty much all I have on that. Ms. Lewis, Mr. Cooper, did I pretty much cover it all? Yeah. All right. I think that's all I got from B&G.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anything else, Mr. Monahan?
No, nothing else.
Thank you. Next item on the agenda is Human Resources with Mr. Giathino.
Thank you, Mr. Flaherty. We have a motion to approve the resignation, position creations, and appointments as listed.
Second, Scott Hines.
Motion made and seconded. Any discussion? Being that there's none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Motion carried. Thank you very much. Next item on the agenda is curriculum instruction with Mr. Renato.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Flaherty. Today, I just want to take a few moments and bring the board up to speed on some recent changes to regulation from the New York State Education Department. So periodically, you will hear me speak about APPR, which stands for Annual Professional Performance Review. It's essentially the program that we use that is required by law to evaluate our teaching staff. This past fall, they put in place a new regulation. So the previous regulation was Education Law 3012D. The new education law is 3012E. And so I just wanted to take a minute tonight and literally just a minute just to kind of bring everybody up to speed on where we are with this and what it's about. Because of the fact that there's been a bunch of noise coming from SED as it relates to some of these regulatory changes. So the most important part of this whole conversation is that they did enact this new law, but the new law does not go into effect until the 2031-2032 school year. Okay, so we have some time. And the reason for that is that the State Education Department has recognized that there's going to be a significant transitional period within which schools are going to have to negotiate with the teachers' unions, the administrative unions, to put a new plan in place and then essentially effectuate that plan. I've spoken to the leadership of both of those unions. At this point, we're all kind of on the same page that we still need quite a bit of guidance to come from SED prior to the point that we can start negotiating some of the changes to our plans. So there really isn't a rush at this point in time. Essentially, what the common theme is what we have is not broken, so let's not play with it until we have to. But some of the notable changes to the plan is, if you will recall, under the old plan, there is a component of the plan that requires for us to use student growth scores, essentially attaching student performance on assessments, achievement towards teacher evaluations. Some of that has been removed from the new plan, but one of the real nice parts of Education Law 3012E is that it is going to allow for us to have more flexibility in terms of how we are allowing for teacher observations to take place. So many moons ago, prior to 3012D going into effect, teachers used to have the opportunity to do peer mentoring, visitations with colleagues, that type of thing. A lot of that went out the window with 3012D. So I'm kind of happy to see that under 3012E, many of those opportunities do come back in. So essentially the concept is that evaluation isn't just about scoring people in terms of how they're doing in their job. It's supposed to be also an opportunity for them to get feedback to allow for growth in their teaching performance. And so everybody is different, and just like our students, different opportunities have to be afforded to folks in terms of what their specific needs might be. So these new plans are going to allow for us to individualize approaches to different individuals based upon where they are in their growth as a teacher and what their needs might be. So ultimately, I think this is going to be a good thing, but obviously there's going to be this transitional period and quite a bit of work to get to that point. So that's it. We've got some time. Like I said, 2031. So put it on your calendar. Any questions, comments? Thank you, Chris. Next item on the agenda is pupil personnel services with Mr. Fenton.
Thank you, Mr. Flaherty. Good evening. Please refer to the executive summary on board docs. The Committee on Preschool Special Education met on 4 days in February. 16 students were reviewed. I ask for a motion to approve the arrangements of the recommended placements by the Committee on Preschool Special Education as presented.
So moved, Scott Hines.
Second, Kathy DeRose.
Motion made and seconded. Is there any discussion? Being that there's none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Motion carried.
The Committee on Special Education met on 4 days in January and 9 days in February. 68 students were reviewed. I ask for a motion to approve the arrangements of the recommended placements by the Committee on Special Education as presented.
So, go ahead. So moved, Kathy DeRose.
Second, Scott Hines.
Motion made and seconded. Is there any discussion? Being that there's none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Motion carried. Thank you very much, Mr. Fenton. The next item on the agenda is the business portion of Mr. Witherow.
Thank you, Mr. Flaherty. First item we have is award of bids.
As listed?
As listed, it's a lot of stuff, it's a large presentation, so rather than everybody have to listen to me read it, it is on board docs and will be available.
Second, Anthony Monaco.
Motion made and seconded. Is there any discussion?
It was a long, lengthy process, but I'm glad it's finished, and I'm glad we're moving forward with this, to help the district better, to serve our students.
Anybody else? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Motion carried.
Next item we have is approval of warrants. Be it resolved that the Board of Education, upon recommendation of the superintendent, accepts the claims auditor's report for the following warrants as attached.
So moved, Bill Cooper.
Motion made and seconded. Is there any discussion? Being that there's none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Motion carried.
Last item we have is the health services contract. Be it resolved that the Board of Education, upon recommendation of the superintendent, approves the health services contract for $1,437.49 with Somers CSD for the 24-25 school year for one Minisink Valley student that attends non-public schools in Somers CSD.
Second, Anthony Monaco.
Motion made and seconded. Is there any discussion?
So I just have one question. I'm assuming that they send a list of the student when they send this, but for privacy reasons, we don't post it.
Correct. And not only send the student, but then we verify with our registrar.
Yes, thank you.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Motion carried. Thank you very much, Mr. Witherow. Next item on the agenda is the report section. Do you want to handle this, Mr. Monahan?
Sure, it's not a problem. You as a board had a discussion at the previous meeting about including a fifth goal regarding our strategic plan that we've been working on. So be resolved that the Board of Education, upon recommendation, superintendent approves the additional 2024-2025 goal of the Board of Education as follows. Goal 5, by the end of the 2024-2025 school year, the district will demonstrate active engagement in the development of a comprehensive strategic plan for the 2025-2026 school year that will guide the district over the next 5 years. This will include transparent communication with the community through regular updates, stakeholder feedback sessions, and a collaborative process aimed at setting clear, actionable goals to enhance student success, equity, and innovation for the upcoming school year. Do I have a motion?
So moved, Scott Hines.
Second, Vanessa White.
Motion made and seconded. Is there any discussion? Being that there's none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Motion carried. Next item on the agenda is the Orange Ulster BOCES board nominations. Just like we do, BOCES has elections every year. They have 3-year terms, and this year there's 3 people running for re-election: William Boss from Greenwood Lake, David Eaton from Warwick Valley, and Edwin Estrada from Middletown. So the board can nominate up to the 3 candidates, and what I will do is I'm going to poll each board member with their suggestions for nominations. Start with Ms. Lewis on the end.
Yes, I nominate all 3, Edward Estrada, William Ross, and.
Ms. White?
The third is
David Eaton from Warwick.
And I would nominate all 3.
Okay. Mr. Monaco?
I will nominate all 3 as well.
Mr. Cooper?
There's 3 positions open, right?
Correct.
Yeah, I'll nominate all 3 then.
I will do the same. I will nominate all 3. Mr. Cahill?
Nominate all 3.
Mr. Rose?
All 3, please.
And Dr. Hines?
Nominate all 3.
Okay, so now, be it resolved that the Board of Education nominates William Boss, David Eaton, and Edwin A. Estrada for election to the Orange Ulster Board of Cooperative Educational Service for 3-year terms.
So moved, Kathy DeRose.
Second, Bill Cooper.
Motion made and seconded. Is there any discussion? Being that there's none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Motion carried. Thank you all. Next item on the agenda is the Finance Committee report, and that's gonna be handled by Ms. Lewis, correct?
Yes. So we met tonight to review the elementary school, the intermediate school, Otisville Elementary School, middle school, and high school, as well as athletics. And this is the portion of the budget that is the supplementary ancillary costs for student regular education and special education. Overall, these 6 budgets come out to be about a 9% increase over the 24-25 school year. These budgets and the ones we reviewed at the February 13th meeting are very small in comparison to the overall budget. So we're really holding the line on expenses, and I feel that we're very conservative and the budgets were done very well.
Any questions or comments? Thank you, Ms. Lewis.
So our next budget meeting will be
March
March 13th at 5 o'clock in the middle school auditorium. So if you are so inclined to come and sit with us as we review them, please join us.
Thank you very much. Next item on the agenda is district events comment period. Mr. Cooper?
I attended the boys Section 9 wrestling championship at Monroe Woodbury, and Minisink qualified 10 boys for the state championships, which will happen on Friday and Saturday of this week. And I also attended down at Mount St. Mary's College the girls Section 9 championship, which is kind of a very exciting thing, and we qualified 8 girls for the first ever New York State Girls Wrestling Championships, which will be happening tomorrow. And I'll be leaving with Mr. Monahan at 7 in the morning to go up and watch our girls participate in Albany at the MPV Arena. And it's history